Hi, I'm Art, one of the co-hosts for a new kind of initiative, a new series of videos here that are associated with our Garden Guides program. I'm standing here in the Riley Park Community Garden, and that's the gardeners are sponsoring, along with our Little Mountain Neighborhood House and SPEC, Society Promoting Environmental Conservation. We're sponsoring a program that is intended to mentor new gardeners, people who are either totally new to gardening or new to gardening here where they live at this point. So given the unprecedented pandemic situation, we've got a lot of people taking up gardening, and we want to make sure that they're successful. And maybe sometimes just a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of help can make the difference. So this is the first video of a series that will focus on various topics, such as soils, such as container gardening, balcony gardening, plant diseases, insects, and various things. I would encourage you, first of all, to go to the Riley Park Community Garden website, click on the button that says Garden Guides, and that will take you to a description of our program and also a survey that will allow you to get engaged with us. Let us know who you are and what your issues are. The second thing you can do is just come to Riley Park and visit the garden.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlene. I am the School Gardens Program Coordinator with SPEC, and I am also a Master Gardener. As Art mentioned, I'm going to be joining him in our weekly garden series, and along the way we're going to have lots of special guests speaking on many different topics.
Charlene, what do you advise for folks who are new gardeners or have just moved into the community and haven't gardened here before? What do they need?
Yeah, that's a great question, Art. So I would recommend a few basic things. First, you're going to need a really good growing medium, whether it's container soil or the soil that you have in your backyard. The second thing you're going to need are some basic gardening tools or hand tools. And the third and fourth thing you're going to need is seeds, which you can get at a garden center or from a gardener, and access to water.
So here we are in Vancouver, mid-May. We've had some warm, dry weather early, some rain, and now we've got some rain coming in. But this is kind of the shoulder time in the spring where we stop doing certain plantings and we start into others. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we should be doing at this stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going into May long weekend, and it's definitely kind of creeping into this warmer period and progressively hotter summer. And a lot of people this weekend start to take their transplants of their tomatoes, and they put them into the soil because the soil is nice and warm. And other warm or heat-loving crops like peppers, you can start those. You can start squashes and zucchinis and corn. But there's some cooler weather crops that can sustain some of the warmer temperatures as well. Kale is one of them. So is arugula. You can try also growing spinach, directly sowing it into the ground. And don't forget about our lovely annual flowers like sunflowers and cosmos and zinnias. You can direct sow them into the ground as well, and they're great for our pollinators.
Well, the opportunities are almost limitless.
Absolutely.
What's happening in the garden right now is instructive in a number of ways. So the beds here range from peas, which are a cool season crop, planted very early. These were planted in March. We've got broad beans that were planted even earlier, and they can be planted in the fall and over winter. And then in stark contrast to those, we have tomatoes here that have just been transplanted out because they're a crop that need lots of heat.
So I am at one of our garden beds that belongs to SPEC, and the students from General Brock Elementary planted all these varieties of sugar snap peas in early March. As Art mentioned, peas are a cool weather crop. They don't really like a lot of heat or the hot summers. And these peas are going to continue to grow. There's different varieties of peas, so some are dwarf, they're really small, and some are just regular size that can grow up to 6 feet tall, so you'll need to stake them. But these peas are going to continue to grow taller and taller and taller, and very soon, in the next month or so, we're going to have lots of sweet sugar snap peas to enjoy.
Now at the May long weekend, lots of people are putting their tomatoes in. And here's a good example. It's a transplant. It was started here at the Riley Park Community Garden, and it's ready to go out. We assume that the air temperatures and soil temperatures will begin to rise, and now is a good time to get these plants in the ground and get them started. One thing that one might think about at this stage is pinching some of these blooms off of here, because what you want at this stage is for the plant to grow vegetatively and not try to start setting fruit at this early stage. So you might decide to take the flowers off until you get some more growth and more leaf area to support fruit development.
These are broad beans, and broad beans you can sow in the fall, in October or November, or in really early spring. Now, broad beans tend to be, again, a cool weather crop. And as you can see, these beautiful broad beans are flowering. Now, broad beans also are really good nitrogen fixers for the soil. A lot of people plant them as cover crops in the fall. So these were planted in the fall, and you can see the growth that's already happened. So when we come back next time, we'll take a look to see if we're going to have little broad bean pods.
So that's a wrap for this week, middle of May, this week in the garden. Remember, if you would like to connect with us, please go to the Riley Park Community Garden website, click on Garden Guides, fill out the survey, and let us know what you need.
Yeah, and we also encourage you to come out to Riley Park Community Garden. But before you visit us, please make sure you follow physical distancing rules, 2 meters apart while in the garden, to ensure a safe space for yourself and others. From both Art and I, until next time, have a good week.